Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about a group that you may have heard of. And this group works hand in hand with the FBI, and they are deeply embedded in almost every major industry in America. And they call themselves InfraGard. Now, before we go too deep into the details, I want to make something clear. InfraGard is not the only group involved in gang stalking. In fact, it's far from it. Gang stalking is a web of many different organizations, networks, and individuals, sometimes connected and sometimes not. What makes InfraGard important in this conversation is that it sits right at the intersection of government power and private sector reach. They're a bridge between federal agencies like the FBI and the corporate world. That makes them a prime player, not the only one, but a known one in the harassment and tracking of targeted individuals. InfraGard started back in 1996 in Cleveland, Ohio. At the time, the FBI said it was simply a small program to share cybersecurity tips with local businesses. But just like a small snowball rolling down a hill, it grew. Now it's nationwide with over 80,000 members spread across all 50 states. These members aren't just tech people. They come from virtually every sector of business: banking, healthcare, utilities, education, transportation, energy, and even retail. If you can think of a critical industry that society depends on, InfraGard has members in it. Officially, they say their mission is to protect critical infrastructure from threats like terrorism, cyber attacks, and natural disasters. And sure, that sounds harmless, even noble. Who wouldn't want to prevent attacks or keep the lights on? But here's where we have to pause and think. If they already have members embedded in every major company and they're directly connected to the FBI, that means they have access to huge amounts of information about people's lives. InfraGard runs local chapters in cities across the country. Each chapter is tied to an FBI field office. Members attend closed-door meetings where the FBI shares threat briefings. They get access to a secure online portal that the public doesn't see, and they exchange intelligence with each other between government agents and private company insiders. Now, in theory, this is all to protect America, but here's the thing. When you build a system that lets law enforcement and private corporations quietly share information about people, that same system can be used for surveillance, tracking, and harassment without the victim even knowing where it's coming from. The FBI oversees the program, but the FBI is not exactly famous for respecting personal privacy, especially when it comes to people they view as troublemakers or potential threats. And the definition of a threat has gotten broader over the years. It's not just terrorists anymore. It can be whistleblowers, activists, or anyone who challenges powerful interests. So here's where they connect to gang stalking. When you hear critical infrastructure, you might think of power plants or internet cables. But what if I told you that the real infrastructure they've built is a human network? For a targeted individual, this means that you could be surveilled, slowed down, and harassed in every part of your life, at work, at home, in public, or online. They don't even have to knock on your door. They can just make your life harder from the shadows. Civil liberties groups have raised red flags about InfraGard for years, and their biggest concern is that they operate in a gray zone, half government and half private. That means they can do things that would be illegal for the FBI to do directly, but perfectly legal for a private company to do. And because InfraGard brings these people together, it blurs the line between normal business and covert intelligence work. Some targeted individuals have reported that they've been followed or harassed by people who later turned out to have InfraGard connections, either through their job or through local business networks. Others claim that once they got on a watch list, everything from job opportunities to housing applications started mysteriously falling through because someone behind the scenes was passing around information. Now, I'm going to repeat this because it's important. InfraGard is just one piece of the gang stalking machine. Some are law enforcement programs, some are private security firms, some are neighborhood watch groups, and some are shadow networks that you'll never see on paper. The reason it's so hard to prove gang stalking is because it's distributed by many different groups doing small parts of the work. InfraGard just happens to be one of the most visible because they're openly tied to the FBI. The better we understand how each piece works, the closer we get to understanding the entire picture. The reason we talk about InfraGard isn't just to expose them, it's to educate ourselves, because once you understand how they operate, you can start to spot the patterns, and once you spot the patterns, you can begin to predict their moves. We may not be able to shut them down, but you can take away their biggest weapon, your confusion. At the end of the day, InfraGard is a symptom of a much bigger system. It's a system where government and corporate power have merged. It's a system that sees regular people as potential threats to be monitored and controlled. By learning about groups like InfraGard, we're not just pointing fingers, we're piecing together the map. And the more we fill in that map, the harder it becomes for them to operate in total secrecy. Remember, knowledge is one of the few tools they can easily take away from you. Keep learning, keep connecting the dots, and never stop paying attention to the patterns. That's how we fight back. Alrighty guys, I hope this video helped give you understanding about who InfraGard is and what they do. If you feel this video helped, share it with someone. Alrighty guys, stay blessed out there. Take care.